Hey, we're back to our regular setup. And it seems like this week's Raw, the entire build up was to basically find out what our pre show was, what's going to be our pre show match. Hello, boys and girls. You are now watching Peter's Raw recap. A Raw from Anaheim, California, and also the go home show to Fastlane, the pay per view before WrestleMania. And I don't know, you got your share of action tonight, but man, your main event, what the fuck was that? What was that? Can someone please tell me what that was all about? Or not. They had some twists and turns tonight. And some good turns, some bad turns, some unfortunate turns, and some fuck you turns, some U-turns. I'm not the one to say is this a good or bad show. I guess I enjoyed it for the most part, but it's nothing to really. It shows the lack of fucking depth on the fucking roster right now. It really does. This roster is lacking. Seriously lacking. Seriously lacking. And as much as I want to be excited for WrestleMania from Peter and Jake last week, I think if let's just say I'm fortunate enough to make it to WrestleMania, I'm there for the party. I'm not there for the show. I'm not there for 32 at all. I mean, I'm gonna watch the show. I will watch the show and I'll try to be entertained as much as possible. But looking forward to the show versus just being in the environment of just a bunch of fucking wrestling fans, yeah. I think it's the latter rather than this. And tonight it's just like, whoa, they tried, man, and whoa. So let's just go into this Raw. Dean comes out, shoots on the triple threat. Stephanie comes out and basically puts his belt on the line, and not a fatal four-way. What's better than the fatal four-way? A fatal five fucking way. Right? And like all of a sudden, Stephanie McMahon has a beef with Dean Ambrose, and I don't know why. Because he's a babyface. I mean, it's not like he took out Triple H. It's not like he was all defiant towards the authority for any reason. They're trying to build a dissension between him and Roman Reigns. And it's just, it's just out of the blue. She's just a dick to Dean Ambrose. So she sets up the fatal five way, being that he doesn't even have to get pinned to lose his belt. And to add another stipulation on top of that, let's make this guy's life a living hell, as if he really done something to us. If Roman Reigns comes out to help at any moment, that not only is he disqualified and loses his Intercontinental belt, but he's also disqualified from the triple threat between himself, Roman Reigns, and Brock Lesnar. So, like, does Roman Reigns come out or not? Even though the match, which consisted of Kevin Owens, Stardust, Tyler Breeze, Dolph Ziggler along with Ambrose, great match. What they were trying to do, I think, just kind of missed the mark. You're trying to build up dissension and you want to tease this idea that Reigns would actually show up to screw his friend out of a shot at the belt at WrestleMania. It was a stretch, man. And this fucking fatal five-way results in Kevin Owens winning the belt. He pins Tyler Breeze after a pop-up powerbomb. And he wins back the Intercontinental belt. He's in this feud with Ziggler. This is, you know how it goes. You watch the show. When situations like this happen, someone loses the belt. Say, take the last time someone lost the belt and got it back. I mean, like you take Del Rio. I thought they had something set up for him to move on forward. Maybe this is it. Maybe it's Dean Ambrose versus Triple H for WrestleMania. Why would he drop that strap like that without any... Yeah, man, without really any fucking explanation. It's not like he even defended that belt a lot. I mean, I guess against Kevin Owens, but for the most part, he just held on to the belt, almost like he held on to the U.S. belt when he's with the Shield. But nevertheless, that's what happened. What they do with Kevin Owens moving forward and the Dolph Ziggler, maybe Dolph Ziggler gets the belt. Do they? Never mind. It's actually kind of nerve-wracking to even try to figure out. So around this time, I guess the New Day comes out, and I'm streaming the show, and apparently, like, my shit just goes out of whack. So I don't even know. I don't even fucking care what the New Day was out there maybe talking about. But when my shit gets back to running again, there's Mark Henry versus Big E Langston. And, you know, I guess two big guys going at it. Wasn't much really left to be desired, being that Mark Henry, he just can't move anymore. And I see why he's going to retire after WrestleMania. He can't do nothing anymore. And he just gets hurt all the time. And this fucking match even ends with him on the shoulders of Big E for a big ending. It gets weird, man. He gets out of the big ending, but he just fucking just drops on the floor. He just drops. And it becomes a shoot pin. Big E just gets on top of him and just 1, 2, 3 victory. I know one of those unfortunate turns on the night. I think fucking Mark Henry's hurt. He's hurt. And that sucks because I hope it doesn't interfere with him making it to WrestleMania and possibly in the state of Texas, in Dallas, that he will win the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Like, I see him winning that Battle Royal. But if this is a serious injury and he can't make it to WrestleMania, that's another injury, man. That's another fucking bullshit injury that is definitely not needed at this point in time for not only the WWE but for a amazing send-off for Mark Henry. You get Brie Bella in the ring with Byron Saxton, and she's about to talk about Daniel Bryan and her future with him, and I guess teasing the idea that she may just step away from wrestling to be a loving wife and a possible loving mother. But Charlotte comes out and is basically ragging the living shit out of her about how she should not wrestle, how she should just give up wrestling and forfeit her match at Fastlane against Charlotte to go home and not only take care of her husband, but also take care of her sister, who's recovering from surgery. And Brie's like, you're playing mind games and whatnot. Well, anyway, it results in Brie Bella basically, getting some good licks in on Charlotte because Charlotte is playing mind games to basically throw her off, to make her feel guilty about not being there by her husband, not being there by her sister, that she's being selfish and all that stuff. And there's a point where Charlotte Flair actually lifts the rope so her dad can get out, Ric Flair can get out, so she can get up in her face, and because she knew get up in Bree's face because she knew it was going to be like some physical activity. But then she mentioned something about what's going to happen to your little vegan babies, and then that's where Bree mode kicks in. Bree mode, and it was really strange. It was a strange, strange moment. It seems like, and even up to this point, it seems like they're trying to drive home some sort of point, WWE and what Raw is supposed to be tonight, but it's like they're missing. Everything came off like awkwardly wrong, or nothing that would give you any real follow up to what makes sense. Anyway, great match between AJ Styles and The Miz, with Jericho on commentary, and I can never give on the Solid Monster Sounds Off page, I guess like fan page. There was a discussion on Sheamus or Miz being a Hall of Famer, and as much as people don't like The Miz, I think he's a really good heel. But the guy can hold his own in the ring. I mean, just flat out, just strip it of all the bullshit. Just look at how The Miz works in the ring. And that guy is he's a workhorse, man. And this match against AJ Styles was a representation of this. This guy can work WWE style. This guy can work fast pace. He can work a lot of different styles. And when you talk about AJ Styles in the ring with them, you're thinking that maybe he'd be this dead weight, but nope. He held his own, and AJ Styles wins with the calf crusher. But man, that was really a great match. And then right at the very end, Jericho gets up, and apparently, if you watch the show, you watch SmackDown, you watch Raw, it's 1-to-1 between AJ Styles and Jericho. Jericho got a win last Thursday with a fucking 2 knees to the face code breaker, while AJ Styles barely squeaks by with a win on his debut match on Raw. AJ Styles calls out Jericho because Jericho's about to basically reprimand him again. It's like, look, it eats you alive that you lost to me at my debut, so whatever. How about you face me at Fastlane? And Jericho's like, maybe. I'll tell you on Thursday Night SmackDown, and we'll see what happens with that. And which would make the rubber match. It went by pretty damn fast. That's a pretty quick very, 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 very quick feud between the two of them. Then we get the Dudley Boys "You People" promo. He reminds people on SmackDown, if you don't watch SmackDown, you found out that we're like, fuck you and your desire to see tables. And that's it. Just a decent heel promo. I guess they called out the Usos or something. Not really call them out, but mentioned the Usos, and I don't know. It's just, they said they were heels on SmackDown. They presented themselves as heel last Monday by kicking the Usos' ass. They go to SmackDown and tell people they get no more tables. And then tonight they just say, hey, just in case you didn't catch the other show, there are no more tables. You people are, fuck y'all. That's it. Paige versus Summer Rae, where where the fuck Paige has been is beyond me. And where Summer Rae has been is beyond me since they broke her up with Tyler Breeze. It's like 2 returning divas. And you're thinking that it's the return for Paige to sort of get back into the whole swing of things, maybe in a title contendership. You're like, oh shit, she gets to roll up. Gets to walk out and all that stuff. But Summer Rae beats her. And I don't know if that was like a mistake or what. But Summer Rae gets a victory over two-time Divas champ. And I don't know where they're going to go with this. Paul Heyman comes out, calls out Roman Reigns to come out to say something to his face. And what he wants to say to his face is that, look, the stakes are high. You have your family and your daughter, you have your best friend, and then you have the championship. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You have to pick between one of these to move forward. Because as long as I've been in the business, Paul Heyman, it never works out that way. You have to choose one. Reigns is like, I got it. You don't have to tell me nothing. I'm going to get in there. I'm going to fight Dean Ambrose because that's what we do. And I'm going to leave. I'm going to win the match and move on to face Triple H. And that was it. I mean, like, the crowd was so adamant about, like, being just disruptive to Roman Reigns. It's pretty impressive. But that was it. I mean, the interaction between Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns is just awkward because, you know, you take Paul Heyman and he's trying to make this into a big deal, you know, make it fire and brimstone to what the situation at hand is. And Roman Reigns, I mean, he doesn't have the ability to return with you know, any kind of tenacity, to say the least. And shakes his hand, and then the Dudley Boys attack, and they keep stomping a mud hole in Roman Reigns until Dean Ambrose shows up, and then they both take out the Dudleys. And as it seems that they handshake, it was like, "Yep, thanks, buddy." Dean Ambrose tries to put Roman Reigns into dirty deeds, and that was the first because 2 weeks ago on SmackDown they were trying to make it seem like Dean Ambrose was trying to take out Roman Reigns by doing two like topes on it, not topes, but two dives out of the ring onto his ass. But then this was like the first time you've seen an actual confrontation, a standoff on what the potential feud going into the triple threat could possibly be. And then Roman Reigns is kind of laughing it off, and then he's like pounding, and then you just see. But, you know, Ambrose is a man on a mission. He just lost his Intercontinental belt. So, again, I still see no purpose into breaking these guys up as friends. I understand the tension that you want to bring to the table by having, you know, a little bit of storyline going into a triple threat match. But it's silly. And so far, I don't think I've said anything good other than say the AJ Styles match, and maybe that the Fatal 5-Way. The match was good, but the ending, I mean, we just want to figure out which direction people are going in, and because it's the night before pay-per-view, the week, you know, the go home show, and things are just left up in the air, even up to here. Like, you don't know, like. So the Dudleys attack Reigns. Like, what was that about? ECW Paul Heyman thing? I don't know, dude. I don't know. And then we get this little thing, the Vince J. McMahon like Award of Excellence. What? I can't. And they bring it up twice too, like. What the fuck is this all about? Another dumb gimmick award to give to somebody? For what? I don't know. Is it the Titus O'Neil or something? Is this how they kiss and make up? Zack Ryder versus Heath Slater, accompanied by the Outcast. This is a bathroom break type of a match, and Slater wins. Nothing really to go on this. This is your go-home show. What the fuck? You get R-Truth on a date, and Goldust is the waiter, which results into him trying to open up the champagne and getting it all over R-Truth's date's dress. A second dud of a segment between the two of these guys. They need to make up their mind what the fuck they're going to finally do with this, because this is just It started off great, great scenes. Now it's just getting hokey. You're not gonna squeeze a team hell no out of this, okay, guys? So get to the point of either A, Truth just getting upset and beating the living shit out of Stardust, or they become the Golden Truth, okay? Lucha Dragons versus Neville versus the League of Nations, a bunch of people who have absolutely nothing to do on the Fastlane pay-per-view card. Other than, say, Alberto Del Rio versus Kalisto. And this ends with, which I like to call the border stomp, with Del Rio stomping Sin Cara in the middle of the ropes. Why does Del Rio make these guys stay like that for so long? Like he could get the move in without having those guys look stupid by hanging upside down. Like, what's the purpose of having this guy hold on? This guy is a luchador. He should be able to just, never mind, I can't. But he makes him stand there, holding the fucking rope, middle rope, as if he's stuck by some weird Jedi force that he can't fucking move. And he gets border stomped. And again, that only thing that moves forward is Kalisto versus Del Rio for the U.S. belt, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Black History Month tribute goes out to Booker T this week. Really, really, really good tribute video. Fuck Michelle Beadle. I saw a photo earlier of Triple H doing something like burying old hatchets. I don't think it wasn't the beef that you had with Michelle Beadle as much as Michelle Beadle had a problem with wrestling about her fucking credentials and Floyd Mayweather at the Pacquiao fight, and the fact that WWE and Floyd Mayweather have a relationship between the two of them, and she fucking outright says, fuck you wrestling, fuck you WWE, I could give a fuck about you moving forward. And now you're fucking swallowing crow because you're a wrestling fan and you want to show your face? Fuck you, Michelle Beadle. You were never done with wrestling. And you're a fucking hypocrite. You're a fucking stupid bitch. That was like the worst moment of the night. To see that photo of her and Triple H and fucking Stephanie McMahon as if they need to be in her fucking good grace is beyond anything that I would even imagine to make sense. She denounced wrestling. It was a big, big, big deal in the IWC. It was a big deal. Everyone was talking about it. And how she, because Floyd Mayweather and domestic violence and your fucking involvement with him, I'm never watching the WWE product ever again. And now it's bygones. Now we can kiss and make up and now we're friends. I can watch wrestling again. I can get my free front row seats and look like a fucking elitist sitting up in front after I denounced that wrestling was anything that I gave a shit about. You dumb bitch. And WWE, shame on you for fucking letting her back in like she does anything for y'all's fucking credibility or anything for y'all's fucking product. It doesn't do anything. If I seen her ass, I'd be like, get the fuck out of here. Here's your fucking $12. Get the fuck out of here. Here's your $22. Get the fuck out of here. We don't need you around. You're going to fucking embarrass us and talk shit about us, talk down to us because something that didn't even involve us, you took it out on us? Fuck you. And fuck Michelle Beadle. I'm surprised I even talked this long about it, but it needs to be said. And I hope any and all fucking podcasts and bloggers and all that shit who are in the wrestling world will fucking call her out for being fucking a bitch, a hypocrite, a bitch ass hypocrite. Del Rio in the back with Young, and he shoots on Kalisto about how he's going to get his fucking belt back. We get a really, 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 really unnecessary match between Becky Lynch and Naomi that ends with it ends with Becky Lynch in the arm breaker, and Tamina taps out. No, sorry. Naomi taps out, and then Tamina attacks her in the ring, and then both Tamina and Naomi are stomping a mud hole in Becky Lynch, and then Sasha Banks come out with one of the weakest save appearances I've ever fucking seen. Ever. She comes out, she takes a sweet time to get to the bottom of the ramp, and then she circles around the fucking ring. Tamina drops Lynch on her fucking back, and then they leave the ring, and then Sasha Banks finally decides to get into the ring. That was piss poor. I don't even know what the fuck that was. And then they're standing tall in the ring as if shit went down. Shit didn't go down. Hell, the reason why they even, I don't know if it was the reason why they ended up having a match, Lynch and Naomi, but they showed a clip from earlier where basically Naomi was basically bullying Lynch and smacked her or something. It was, I guess, whatever, man. I guess they still got that tag team match for the Fastlane show. And then we get to, I guess, the main event segment, the last segment of the show, and you got Braun Strowman versus The Big Show. And I'm like, I forgot this match was even going to fucking happen. It's 11 o'clock. It's one thing to give me a little bit extra after a show that I'm like, hey, this is some cool shit. But this is like Braun Strowman versus Big Show. That should have been in the second segment. But they don't even go to the match. The Wyatts cut a fucking promo. Like, I don't get it. I don't understand what that was all about. So they cut like this fucking 7-minute promo. It's already 11 o'clock. Then Big Show finally comes out to face Braun Strowman, and they're just two big lugs going at it, and it ends in DQ. It ends in fucking DQ. Because the Wyatts just run in the ring and fuck it all up. So if you've been waiting patiently for 3 hours to see this fucking match, this was your payoff. But then, as they're beating the living shit out of the Big Show, Ryback shows up. What? The fuck is Ryback? What? And then Kane comes from under the ring. And that's how the fucking shit ends. That's how the show ends. Like, I guess we get what I said in the opening. I guess we got our pre-show. That's what this is. The pre-show for fucking Fastlane. There you go. There you have it. Wow. I mean, I guess going through this entire thing and talking to Nathan earlier, I was like, you know what? I have faith that this shit was going to be good, and that Fatal 5-Way was pretty good. It started off pretty decent, but then it just, as I'm going down this, other than the AJ Styles versus Miz match, this show was shit. And he was right. He was right. This was a bullshit show. A go-home show, no less. Because the roster is so depleted. The roster is so fucking depleted. Man, dark days. And then you get fucking Mark Henry with an injury too right now. Man, what do you do? This is too much. This is way too much. And I had high hopes going into this Fastlane. And it seems like they built and blew their load too early. And I think they could have at least reserved a second match with Jericho on Fastlane and then the rubber match for WrestleMania. They could have done that, but Raw, SmackDown, and now Fastlane. You get, oh man, I don't know. It's depleted. And you got Bree, who's done nothing really to deserve a championship spot other than getting a fluke win over Charlotte. And now, I don't know. And she's talking about retirement to be with her husband. I don't know, man. Mark Henry's hurt now. And what do they do with this IC belt? Yeah, man. It's like ugh. Yeah. I don't even know what to really say, guys. I'm speechless. I mean, I watched the show and I'm sitting here, all right, I can make sense of this. And then when I just go over it, it makes no sense at all. It makes absolutely no sense at all. And it's going to be, I got to watch SmackDown and see what kind of things they tie in together going into Fastlane, and then just wait for sort of the Fastlane to sort of work everything out, work out all the kinks until we get to WrestleMania. But god damn, dude. If there's anything to be said, is that big gaping hole that is WWE superstars that the company give a shit to push. And now we're left with basically this super mid card, and they're trying to make chicken salad out of chicken shit. Whew. 100,000 people, huh? That's what they need to do. They need to fill up 100,000 people in that fucking AT&T Stadium. If I'm one of those guys at AT&T Stadium, if I'm Jerry Jones, I'm looking at this fucking Raw and this roster, or I'm looking into the news, I'm like, god damn, I can't believe I agreed to this. I can't believe I agreed to this. So without further ado, I'm going to get the fuck on because I'm tired as hell. So subscribe, PJTW Central content consists of the New Day podcast. We just recorded episode 20, and we go into a deeper discussion about New Japan, their pay-per-view they just had, New Beginning in Osaka. We talk about Daniel Bryan, concussion, this new wave of thinking when it comes to the idea of health, concussions, and professional wrestling. We talk about other things as well, but that was the bulk of the conversation. You got Peter Talk Sports. I will be doing a podcast tomorrow, Peter Talk Sports. Maybe I will be talking about what's happened post Super Bowl. Cam Newton and Peyton Manning, and what the fuck's happening with this whole scenario between the two, and how Sean King is kind of like playing the antagonist of all this. Then you have Peter and Jake Talks Wrestling, episode 79 this week, and we're going to review New Japan's New Beginning in Osaka, and then we're going to review tonight. We're going to have a discussion about tonight's Raw, and then Saturday we have Peter Talks SmackDown, and I'll be reviewing the Go Home show for SmackDown going into Fastlane. So again, subscribe. This right here, again, Peter's Raw Recap is a YouTube only exclusive content, but then everything else is on Stitcher, a returning Stitcher. Finally, they got their shit together, and that's running again. Podbean, iTunes, and SoundCloud. That's how you can always listen to us, or listen to me and listen to the content. Add us to your favorites playlist and all that type of shit. You also can give a thumbs up. I've seen some thumbs down. I apologize. I can't please them all. Leave a comment below. You can also hit me at pjtwcentral.com. And you can also hit me at Ellen Japanese, which is LINJAPANESC. That is also my Instagram, my Snapchat, and the SoundCloud page if you wanted to like check that shit out. You also have you also can share 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 the stuff. So do yourself a favor and go back one video, I guess it was audio. Listen to the New Day podcast, episode 20. And I'll be seeing you tomorrow for Peter Talk Sports. If you're not interested in the sports talk, then I will see you for episode 79 of the Peter and Jake Talks Wrestling podcast. Watch out for those foreign objects.